Evening, Gasheads. Welcome back to another episode of the Talking Gas podcast. Welcome back to episode 14. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope you've all had a good week. Obviously, now getting closer to the weekend, yet another game over this crazy Christmas period. Of course, another tough away game, which will make it 3 away games in a row before Christmas. But yeah, we'll be talking about the Bolton game, going over the obviously new system being played. We're going to be joined by Lee Charles from LeeCharlesTV, who's like a Blackpool content creator. He'll be coming on around 8:25. So we'll be getting his thoughts on the season so far, players to watch out for. Then, as always, at the end of the episode, we'll be going over into our starting 11s, our score predictions. Obviously, there was a few funny comments after Saturday, of course, where me and Neil both predicted us to lose, but it is what it is, before going to that game, I don't think many people were confident. But yeah, we proved it that it was a quality performance. But before we do get into it and before I bring Neil in, first of all, a few shout outs. Well, I want to do shout out to Charlotte for the Operation Christmas Hamper, the amazing work that her and the team were doing over sort of the last few weeks and last few months, really. Over 656 hampers went to different families. So well done to everyone that helped with food donations, money donations, etc. Yeah, she's done an amazing job, and to everyone that helped is brilliant. Also, best wishes to Lucas Vaughan as well. Of course, the ex-Rovers player who was involved in a serious traffic accident. Hopefully he gets well soon. And obviously Lockyer, the awful news that, I didn't even realise it until after the game, until, of course, he had a cardiac arrest at the game at Bournemouth, but he's now back at home. So hopefully, all the best to Lockyer. He was a quality player at Rovers, and it's obviously the second time now that's happened in sort of 5 months. So hopefully he gets well soon. But yeah, if you do enjoy, as always, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Make sure you get your notifications on as well, because even over the Christmas period, we've got all the fixtures coming on Boxing Day. Of course, Portsmouth at home. We got a game on the 29th against Charlton. There's going to be the last episode before Christmas will be on Sunday. So we'll be back just before Christmas Day. So we'll be live on Christmas Eve for, the Blackpool preview, the Blackpool reaction, and going over the Portsmouth game. And then we'll be live again, a few days later for the Charlton game, and then, of course, the Wigan game on New Year's Day. So make sure you have the notifications turned on. Our socials for the accounts are rolling around at the bottom of the screen. So do follow us so you know for sure, because notifications can be a bit poor sometimes. And, of course, if you want to join Fan Hub, the code is also scrolling down at the bottom. But, yeah, keep up the quality support. Get your questions in for tonight if you're watching back on the replay. Do leave your predictions and any questions you have for us in the comments below. But yeah, joined by Neil for another episode. How are you doing? And are you ready for Christmas yet?
Yeah, what's happening, mate? You all right? Ish. I don't know, really. Like, you only find out, don't you, really, come the day, if you're ready for it or not. But I've done as much prep as I can.
Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't even. It's weird. I suppose as you get older, like for me, it doesn't really feel like Christmas. I don't know if that's just me or it's just as you get older, but I don't know. But yeah, like I said, we got plenty of stuff to talk about, plenty of games coming up. So like I said, keep the notifications turned on. But yeah, as always, get your thoughts in the comments below. Loads of stuff to talk about, including we'll go over January window again, because obviously the new system, etc., that we've been going. But yeah, start off with the Bolton game, a win, a massive win, winning 2-1. First away win against a Big Six team. Still, I don't even know. Still, I was meant to look, but it's been so long. But as I said just then, you predicted 4-1, I predicted 3-1. Obviously, the Bolton fan from the Trotter Shout podcast went, it was everywhere. No context. Rovers got him out on, saying 5-0. But yeah, what was your thoughts? Obviously, 2 changes to the lineup. We pretty much knew Hunt wasn't going to play because of the injury. There was also another change. Grant Ward came in for Woods. But apart from that, 9 of the players that played against Crewe kept their place, and rightly so. And Yeah, we backed it up with a massive win in Taylor's first league win of the season, of course, back-to-back wins after the victory against Crewe. What was your thoughts on that game? Because obviously you watched it at home. What did you make of the whole game? First half, the goals, etc. What did you make of it?
Well, I never saw it coming. As good as we looked, in certain spells since Taylor's come in, I still never expected that to happen. And I never expected that level of performance. That is, whether it be under Joey, Mangs, or Taylor now, that is our first proper, accomplished full 90 minutes of football that we've played. Like, we've had good spells in games where we've looked good, but for other spells in games we've looked pretty ragged. We get dragged about a bit. We look vulnerable. That is probably our best 90 minutes of this season, bar none. As far as whistle to whistle, that is our best 90 minutes so far. And all that's done now is set a standard. They've gone into that change room at full time and gone, that's what we've set now. We've set ourselves a standard for what we do go into now in these tough run of fixtures, knowing that is the output we can do. That is what we can perform like on the road. So it all bodes well. First half wise, I thought we started okay. We were pretty reserved, to be honest. But what looks clear to me as far as Taylor coming in, I know Cheltenham, there was areas which were terrible. We had the issue with Crewe when we conceded and what happened after that. But he's clearly looking to go to sacrificing possession to become more structured and to become more resilient and organised off the ball. Because when we don't have the ball, we don't look anywhere near as vulnerable. Be it system personnel, it's down to instructions that you give and the instructions that are taken on by them players. And now we look like a well-organised side, that we look comfortable. We don't get played through without the ball. Everyone's got a job. Everyone's set in. They've not taken on all the information. Of course they haven't. He's only been here a minute. But there's building blocks being put in place there to show that we can be a good side. We don't have to have the ball all the time to be a good side. Like under Joey, not so much Mangs because he tweaks things a little bit. Under Joey, like we wanted us to have the ball all game, which is fine. You can keep it all game. But the minute we lost it, it was carnage. And he looks like he's tweaking that to say, do you know what? We don't need the ball all the time. We can go and we can boss a game without it. If you've got good structure, good voices, good movement, and people are doing what they need to be doing in certain situations within the game, you can manage a game without having the ball so much. So that was a plus. The sending off helped massively, but the sending off got created down to our own, good work ethic. I mean, we'll talk about players individually, but Finley, again, what was it? 3-4 weeks ago, there was fans saying he was no good, out the door, he's done, got to move him on, he's shot. He was excellent, wasn't he, Saturday? No one needs to talk about it. He was what he was. He bossed it. And then you got Collins, terrorised him all game, made the sending off, made the goal, ran in behind, was smart with his movements, looked really, really positive in what he was doing. And this is all down to a structure and system that says when we get the ball, we do something really beneficial with it. We don't keep it for the sake of keeping it. And that was our issue previously. We were keeping a football for the sake of keeping it without going anywhere. But as long as the other team didn't have the ball, we thought that was a prudent way to approach it. And, some managers will say that works in some leagues and on some continents that does work. But we're looking like this is a good little mix at the minute of sacrificing a bit of possession to actually get organised. And when we win the ball back, we're set to actually go and do something with a bit of purpose. I'm not going to say that Saturday was, the finished article, but it's a good indication for what this side can do under Taylor if they take on the information, listen, and they buy into what he's doing. Because I think, the teething period at the start was this bloke's come in, we don't want him. We were quite happy with what we had. But the only way players buy in is winning games. And they might be thinking, actually, what he's saying is working here. We're doing all right. Yeah. So they might just start buying in. Saturday's a brilliant tick to say that we can do this. We're going into tough fixtures, home and away, and we can go and get good points against big hitters And if you start winning games, you want the games to come thick and fast.
Yeah.
When you're losing them, you don't. So,
yeah,
I thought to a man, best 90 minutes of football that we've seen this season, from whistle to whistle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been ages, hasn't it? Really, I can't even. There wouldn't obviously. There was a few games from last season where I think there was like 90-minute games, like Sheffield Wednesday, etc., like Cheltenham. But this season, I think that is our first complete 90 minutes, really. Like you said, I think he's come in. That's what I like with him. He's coming with a clear plan. With the three at the back, whether you want to call it. I mean, it sort of varies at different times in the game. Obviously, when Bolton had the ball, we were more in like a 3-5-2. But when we had the ball and when we were attacking, it was almost like a 3-4-2-1. And I think it suits. I said it when he joined, and maybe the last episode we done last week. The fact that I think the players we have suit that system. I think it suits it to a T. And when you can have Evans and Collins in behind, where they can sort of free roam and they can interchange like they were doing on Saturday. And when you've got a midfield two with runners and fight, grit, all that thing, and they, the two midfielders, Wardy and Finley bossed it. And then also the other thing with James Wilson. Obviously, James Wilson, we got him from Plymouth. He'd won the league, and he played right of the back three at Plymouth as well during that season. And Taylor, when you've got 6'7", 6'6", him in the middle, Cram on the left, and then obviously the weird one that we'll get into in a minute was obviously Thomas playing on the right. But and then you've got Vell, who I think he goes under the radar, really. I think he's been very, very good at that position. And the thing is, as well, if you do want to change it up, if you do want to make changes, a lot of them can play him, at various different positions. And like you said, I just think it's that clear plan. And it, considering what he's just been here, 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks, is it? Or just under that, he's, obviously done a lot of training with them in the time. It was nice to have the week off. The week before, but there's been plenty of good changes, and like you said, hopefully now we can build on it now, because like you said, we've you only got to look at our results. 7 wins. Is it 7 wins, 6 draws, and 6 losses? And obviously,
it's middle of the road. Yeah, it's middle of the road.
So hopefully now, like you said, it isn't just a one-off, and we can keep playing with the same intensity, the same work ethic. I said before, I really like the formation. It can vary, like I said, what moment you're in a game. But the thing I liked about Saturday is that obviously they had the red card, but even before that, I think we were the better team. We made them look very, very average, especially that Santos. I think from the first whistle, the pressing from the front, especially Marquis, because that's the thing now. There was a question that we'll get into in a minute, but Marquis suits this as well, because Taylor's likes to have a pressing striker as well. But that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. I had a comment, I can't remember who it was from the other day, but someone said after the Bolton game, what's your thoughts on Martin and getting his contract extended? Because for me now, and I know he's still gonna play from time to time, but now I think we've seen the last 2 games, Marquis suits that lone striker role a lot more within this formation, and he seems to make us play better with that. Like, what's your thought? Would you say it was a no-brainer that we give Martin a new contract, or do you reckon it just depends on the whole January window? Because apparently it's not until the end of January his contract extends. Because I can't see him playing a lot now. The way Marquis suits this formation and the way he presses and can run all game, like Martin can't do that. So what do you make of that situation?
No, I think it's a no-brainer. I think we extend his deal. Like, it doesn't lie, does it? His output of what he's done for us since he's been here. Ultimately, what does Chris Martin do? Takes chances. So you can have John Marcus run his legs off for you all game if you want to for 60, 70 minutes. Doesn't mean there's not a spot in that side at some point. Football fans have a tendency to look at a game of football and think, what we start with is our best side for 94 minutes. That's how a game of football works. You evaluate it, 45, 60, 75, and there will be a place in that side in certain independent situations where Chris Martin could be required. It might not be from the start. But there will be a role and a job and somewhere where we think we need someone to take a chance here. We need to create a chance and a chance to be taken at some point later on in a game where Chris Martin could be needed. And also, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Just because we're playing this way at the minute doesn't mean that if he brings Chris Martin in to start, that we don't tweak our patterns of play to means that we don't need to centre forward to run and harry fullbacks and chase down lost causes and go and put pressure on centre halves. There could be another method that we can get a bit of success higher up the pitch without our centre forward doing that. So I still think for me, Chris Martin is well on the radar to sign another extension to his deal.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with what Abdegas RJ said. Taylor's game plan is the style I've been waiting for. It may only be 2 games of using it, but it works, and we've looked like the team we should be. Yeah, because that's the thing. I'd probably say 75% to 80% of teams play the same formation in this league, and in a lot of leagues now you see. So yeah, for me, I really like it as well. So yeah, hopefully, like you said, we can keep playing the way we did at Bolton, and for 70 minutes against Crewe, and yeah, it's only going to build confidence, if we keep playing like this and winning games. Alicia saying we tired badly. Think maybe we should have brought on subs a bit earlier, but hey, great result for the Gas. Yeah, amazing result. Getting on to the players. Like we said, everyone was quality. Including the subs. Including Luca, who's great to see him back. After being out for injured for quite a while. Obviously, Martin came on. What was your thoughts? Obviously, Coxey didn't really have a lot to do. Really, I think we. First half, I think we had 10 shots, probably should have took 1 or 2 more chances, but, going in 2-0, you can't really moan in the way we're playing. But then even in that period they had second half, it was only, obviously we cleared, we done our jobs, defensively wise, cleared a few off the line. They tried getting, they were dangerous from corners, every time they put it in, it was straight on top of Cox. Obviously he don't really like that, but the save he made was brilliant. Overall, he done well, didn't he? And you can't really moan. Although it's getting more and more, I've seen a lot more and more people saying, we need a new keeper. Obviously we've talked about it the last few weeks, about Cox. Both of us like him. But yeah, I am seeing more and more people, across different platforms saying that we need a new keeper or should play Ward instead. But obviously that's what opinions are for, isn't it? There's loads of opinions in football, and yeah, you've pretty much kept the same thoughts, haven't you? You like him in goal as well as as well as I do.
Since he's come in, he's had 3 managers. He's never been dragged. They've all played him. Just because, Steve from a warehouse thinks it, Ward should be in goal. That speaks for itself. He's had 3 different managers. They've all fancied him. They've all played him. He's never been dragged. Of course he's good enough to play for us. Of course he is.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, I am seeing more and more people say about him, and it is what it is, isn't it? People can have their opinions, and rightly so. Wilson for me, I thought he went under the radar. I thought he was that good, and it was like Crewe really. He's good at overlapping again, really solid. I'll let you have your say on Taylor, because he was class again, isn't he? Absolute class.
Yeah, and I think you get from Connor Taylor what you expect from him is you give him simple, clear instructions. Stick in the middle of 2 centre halves. You ain't got to mark. You ain't got to do anything other than recovery runs and win every first contact. There's no one better in the league at doing it. Just simple, just do that. Just go and be an old school centre half. Go and win every first contact or do your recovery runs in behind your two centre halves. And if that's your two main objectives in a game, I back him 95, 6, 7% of the time to go and win all them duels. He's that good. Doing that. Doing that. So
I agree.
He's got two centre halves and two wing backs that can do all the other nonsense for him in front of it. But if he's got a clear sight of the football, and he hasn't got to worry about picking up his man running off him and just clearing up and sweeping in behind what's in front of him, I've yet to see anyone better in League One that can do it. He's immense at it. His recovery runs are incredible. Like, he never ever gets beaten. He never gets beaten on a recovery run, and he always wins fouls. He's like, it's a win-win. I just think you talk about a system change. It has benefited Connor Taylor because he gets to play the way he wants to play for 90 minutes. But I know we've got a squad of players that can play in all different systems, and what we've got does suit the system that's being played. But you've got to take on the information that is given to you to perform that way. And for me, I didn't see Saturday coming because I thought it'd take a long while for Taylor to get bought into by these lads. And I don't know, it still might yet. It's only one result in it, but he's dull as dishwater, isn't he, Taylor? He's not an exciting fella. So, like, he's very process driven. He's very regimented. He's very do this, do that. You can tell by his interviews, like, I have him on, but I can't listen to him. I just think, Christ alive. It's like listening to a school teacher, isn't it? So he is dull as dishwater. So he's implementing this stuff, but you've got a group of players there with good football IQ that if you take it on and perform, you should be getting a good output out of them. Like with Joey, it was very much, we'll keep the football, and when we get into the final third, just go and express yourself and cause a bit of chaos. Whereas now, Taylor's got them playing to a structure, to a format. When we lose a ball, this is where we go. This is how we get in nice and narrow, and this is where we win it back. And when we win it back, we move it with a bit of purpose. Whereas before, it was all very much, you're all good players, go and express yourself.
Yeah.
I just think what you saw on Saturday, I mean, we can go through player for player if you want, but ultimately what you saw on Saturday was a group of men that were told to go and perform a certain task in certain scenarios with or without the ball, and they undertook it. And that's all you can ask, really. I just think I got the impression that under Joey, it was very much like, you are good, go and keep it. We'll do all the patterns in the week. We'll go and keep it. We'll do all the drills, all the boxes. And then on a Saturday, go and perform it. But when you come up against a methodical team that are waiting for that to come along, they can sort of play chess against you a little bit and counteract it. And when we lost the ball, we were all at sea because we had the expectation of, we'll keep it all game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I really like that about like you said, I know it's been, 2 wins, obviously the draw against Cheltenham, but then the 2 wins. But yeah, it's definitely a better way of going out about things, really, because like you said, under Barton, it was a lot of keep the ball but not really do much with it. Whereas this, and I like you said, we have to back Saturday's result up, of course, but it's the way. That's what I mean. You don't have to have a lot of the ball as long as you do the right things with it. And like you said, everyone knew what they were doing. There was runners, people wanted to run with the ball, people getting forward. We'd be like, Marcus and say Collins were up there, but then the next minute, Finley, Thomas, Vell, Evans all running in behind. And yeah, it's much more efficient. And I think that's the right word to put it. It's more efficient, and we've seen it Saturday. But yeah, like you said, we don't really have to go for everyone. I thought, I've already said I tweeted Finley. I thought that was his best performance in a Rovers shirt. I thought he was outstanding. You've seen can't remember the exact stats they put up, but first for everything, duels won, ball recoveries, everything. I thought he was outstanding. Ward, quality, was a bit wary of him, like a bit unsure at the start of the season. I didn't think he was playing too well, but he did have a few injury problems. But now I hope he's behind that because he is a quality player, Ward, and them two really suit each other. Vell, like I said, I thought he's going about his business very well. I mean, Thomas, that was mad, wasn't it? I bet, seeing him on the right, but he was outstanding, wasn't he, Thomas?
Yeah, and it's probably another example of a player that's been asked to go and do a job, and his instructions have probably been pretty clear. He probably had 2 or 3 bullet points that Taylor wanted him to undertake rather than fill in with a load of information of how to play that role. He probably got given 2 or 3 bullet points on the certain things they wanted from him on and off the ball. Just go and do that for me. and he did it really well. He did it really well. But this Saturday showed you how good we can be without the ball, where we haven't really seen it because our expectation and the expectation under the old sort of coaching style was we keep it at all costs. We just keep it. Well, the problem is when you don't keep it and you do get sloppy with it, or you do give it away, where are you then? Whereas there seems to be a little bit of information that's been drip fed into these boys to say, when inevitably we do give the ball away, this is how we react and this is where we want to go to in a certain pattern when we give the ball away or the ball gets turned over at certain areas of the pitch. But the biggest thing for me Saturday, as far as the test, was what happens when we go to 2-1. Because I spoke previously about this squad and where are the characters, where are the men, and where are the leaders? Because when it got to 2-1, everyone would be thinking, here we go, we'll fold here. We have got the ability to collapse here and fold. And to be fair to them, they stood up, they did what they needed to do, and it got sore out.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest concern. At 2-1, it was right, prove yourself now. We've seen what happened at Crewe. And I expect Taylor would have loved to have dragged Finley and kept him in cotton wool and wrapped him up. But he probably learned from Crewe that if I do, this is what can happen. So he left him out there on a booking to probably say, like, I need you to be out there, Sam, because if I drag you, it's got the potential to go the way Crewe went when he came off and we were all at sea, especially when we conceded the first one. It was chaos for like the last sort of 10 minutes. So it could have gone one or two ways. He could have picked up another booking and it could have been curtains and he could have got sent off. We could have conceded another one down to 10 men, etc. But he was ballsy enough to leave him out there, realised that he's probably the most influential figure in that middle to go and get a bit of work done and drag people about. And that was a good test passed, I thought, away at Bolton with like the onslaught coming at 2-1 with what do we have to see out? 8 minutes, something like 10 minutes.
Like that,
We did it. Yeah. So again, that's another box ticked where they can go into training this week and go, look, objectives were this, and this, and you showed you can do it. So let's just keep working on that and get better at what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree with you. We're going to bring Lee and he's in the background in a few minutes, just go over a few more players and then a bit of January stuff as well. But, we knew, Evans, like I said, you play him in his normal position, you give him that free roam, 2 goals, another brilliant goal. Collins, let's get your thoughts on Collins, because like you said, there was a lot of, even me after a few games, and rightly so, you can criticize players when, they're, you're seeing, not the best performances and stuff, but, when players play well, you have to praise them. And I thought, hopefully this is another time where he can, keep going, because I thought, brilliant in that role with Evans behind Marquis, running on, Collins, got Santos sent off as well, right on the last man. Yeah, what did you make of him? Got another assist as well, because for him only having 3 league goals, he's not just a goal scorer, Collins. He's got other, he's a creator as well. Yeah, what did you make of him? I thought he was quality Saturday.
It was only a matter of time, wasn't it? It was only ever going to be a matter of time. It's a League One player of the season last year. You don't just become crap overnight. It's just a matter of time. It's just not in great form. That was all. Just got to wait for it to pass and something to click and something to happen. And before you know it, he'll be back to his old self. I mean, he's never ever been just a goal scorer. Collins. I know he's scored loads of goals for us at the back end of League Two, and he went and got 16 last year. But ultimately, if you look at him as a footballer and a player, he's a million miles away from just a goal scorer. Yeah. The goals are sort of an addition to what he actually does. He opens sides up, he twists up centre halves and fullbacks, he creates apples of chances, and he stretches sides in behind. He's a gun. Do you know what I mean? It baffles me when he has 3-4 quiet games, he gets written off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. And then obviously Marquis again, I thought he was brilliant. Ran his socks off like he always does. Thing is with Marquis, it's not the work rate. It's just like we've gone over before. It's the chances that you look at Orient, you look at Exeter. We've gone over it before. The chances he's missed, but if you can play like he did Saturday and play like he did at Crewe, I think he probably wasn't on the best of confidence. He's sort of been in and out, few injuries, niggles, Martin starting ahead of him, but last 2 games, really good, 2 goals. Hopefully he just keeps it up. Hopefully, if he keeps getting these, big chances, he just keeps scoring. I know he's not going to score every week. We know that, but if he can keep playing like that, then yeah, his confidence, will be a world of good. And yeah, hopefully it just keeps continuing there, even into Gordo as well. Yeah, thanks to everyone tuning in. Currently, nearly 40 people in. Keep hitting the like button if you haven't. If we can get 50 likes, and give us 2 minutes, we're just going to get into one more question. Then we'll bring on Lee to get his thoughts on Blackpool season so far, etc. One more question I wanted to ask. We've asked it the last few weeks, but by looking at the last 2 games, our results, and the formation we're playing, and I know we've talked about it a lot. We know we need a striker. Looking at the last 2 games, the way we've been playing, etc., 3 at the back, 2 midfield, wing backs. For you, where do you think we need to improve if we want to, seriously mount, trying to break into that top 6? Where do you think we need to improve?
Nothing's changed for me really. I still think it's the top end of the pitch. Still need a gun A1, like top ranked League One centre forward. That squad, we said it from day one. The squad stacked full of players and quality that can play multiple positions. So it's not like we're low on volume. All that needed was a side to get or a manager to come in and get a better output out of what he already had. And I think like we're well on the way, considering he's had 3 games, to looking like that is plenty capable and he can do that. But I still think there's going to be games which are going to be nip and tuck. And the difference between drawing, losing and winning games is a centre forward that can actually, if you get given 2 chances, bag 2. If you get given 1 chance, bag 1, And I just think we're missing that guy at the minute. But other than that, I wouldn't look at that squad and go, oh, we're well like that, because we've got so many players that can play multiple positions in different systems in different parts of the season. I don't look at that squad and think we're light anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, I would bring in it. I think we need another centre back for me personally to play on the left, because I do like Kramer, but he's always, once a game he's got a massive mistake in him. For me, I think Wilson, Taylor, brilliant. I still do like Kramer, but for me personally, I would get another. I think we need a centre back. I'd love Friend to play there, but we've seen Friend this season. When he's played, he's been very good, but he plays once a month, if that. So for me, I think we need I would go centre back, and of course a striker as well. But apart from that, I don't think we really need anything else really.
I think
with Maka coming back, and
the place where he might want to add a bit of volume if he continues to play 3 through the middle, due to the fact that how combative it is going to be in there is going to be, injuries and suspensions. He just might want to bulk out the centre of the pitch a little bit with a bit of volume. But other than that, that's just my thinking out loud of somewhere which is, inherently you are going to get a load of bookings, a load of suspensions and a load of injuries just for how hard you're going to work in there. So he might want to bulk that up with a bit of volume maybe, but I've said from the start that squad has got enough quality in it to go and do what, is being expected to go and at least challenge that top 6 sort of position. It's just about getting a better output out of what we already have start of the season.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. But yeah, we're going to bring in Lee now. Of course, before you do bring him in, go and subscribe to his channel, LeeCharlesTV, Blackpool fan. He'll be there, and is always quality content. And yeah, Lee, welcome. How are you?
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah,
I can hear anything. Why can't I not hear anything?
There's audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
I can't hear. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Oh God.
But yeah, if we get him there for a minute, hopefully he can sort out his audio. But yeah, I mean, going in, we've discussed that. you know, if we look at Blackpool so far this season, they're 5 points ahead of us. We've got 2 games in hand. If we do win, hopefully we can do. We go 2 points below Blackpool with 2 games in hand still. Of course, we've got Exeter to play.
I've got it. I've sorted it.
Right, good.
I had the fader down here. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Oh, God, man. Oh,
I know.
Nightmare.
I mean,
good start to the show. Hello, everybody. Happy Christmas, everybody. Hello, Charlie. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yes. You know, it's been a while. I used to be on. Lee used to do a lot of sort of League One streams. You know, where I'm sure many of you know Nappers. You know, Jack Ward, Tyler Rawlinson. Door on Tour, everyone used to be on there. So
we used to do the football vloggers podcast, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. We ought to bring it back. We ought to bring it back now. We bloody hate Blackpool. I'll just talk about everybody else other than bloody Blackpool at the moment. So we're a bit cheesed off on the seaside here. We're not a happy bunch. We're not a happy bunch. We're not.
Yeah. Because obviously earlier on I did phone Lee and he was saying about. I mean, just tell us about your season so far, because you know if you look at the league table, you know you're not far, you know, away from the playoffs. You know you've got one of the best home records in the league, third best home record in the league actually.
Really, you know,
are
we that good?
Yeah, I mean, you tell us what's your thoughts on the season so far. You know, with Critchley, obviously Critchley's second spell back at the club, obviously after relegation last season from the Championship. What have you made of the season so far?
Well, it's all a bit disappointing. We're not happy. Chris got us up. Yeah, he got us up into the Championship during lockdown in the lockdown season. Yeah, so we got promotion, and we had a kind of successful first season. Really, it was comfortable. We were safe in the Championship, you know, with about 2 months to spare, really. And then it kind of all fizzled off at the end. And we were above the Nobbers. Preston, you know, for any of you, above the Nobbers, our rivals. And with 2 games to go, and we had the 2 bottom clubs to play, both relegated. Derby at home and Peterborough away. And we lost them both, and the Nobbers won theirs, and they ended up finishing above us. So that was a big disappointment. And we actually lost it to Peterborough 5-0 on the last game of the season. So, have you ever been to Peterborough? Have you been there?
Yeah, been there too many times. That's Neil's favorite away day. That
right. Well, that's the game. We're over at that barge place. What's it called? What's it called? There's a big garden and everything. There's a bar.
With that pub.
Yeah, so we're all there. I'm interviewing all the Blackpool fans, and they're all saying the same thing. You know, we need to strengthen this. You know, obviously there's things we need to do in the summer. And then Jane and I were away. Jane likes to go to Lincoln for someone. I think she just likes Steep Hill there. So we go to Lincoln and Cleethorpes and all this. We do this, and we're sat in this bar, and it just comes. She goes, "Oh my gosh, breaking news from Bluefield Road." We're like, oh, this is bad. It's never breaking good news. And but Critchley's left. He's gone to Villa to be with his best mate Stephen Gerrard, and it was a bit devastating. Then they brought in Michael Appleton, who had been manager of Blackpool when the Oystons were here, pretty much after Holloway and Premier League. It was that kind of time, and he left. He left as soon as he came, really. It lasted about 10 weeks. Saw what it was all like with the Oystons, and he buggered off to Blackburn Rovers. So he left us, and then they brought him back. And there was a lot of bad feeling about it. A lot of people didn't really like the fact that he'd been manager when the Oystons were in the first place, and the fact he'd left us. And he said some good things. He said, you know, he felt the last time he was at Bloomfield Road, it was the right club at the wrong time. He felt this was the right club at the right time. But he didn't have a lot of luck. We had a lot of injuries and things went wrong. And it all looked like they were backing him in the January transfer window. He got Bowler back from Forest, who we had
Yeah,
Josh Bowler,
Josh Bowler, yeah.
Forest bought him for a load of money and then just shipped him out to Greece because they didn't want him, took our best player. It was the weirdest thing. And then they didn't play him in Greece. They sent him back a broken man. And when he came back, he'd been sacked at Appleton, and it was Mick McCarthy football, dour Mick McCarthy. And we're not a Mick McCarthy side. We're not a big, massive, like land of the giants, isn't it? We're Mick McCarthy, and it just didn't work very well. He eventually left of his own accord. Said he could with about 6 games to go. We had Stephen Dobby just take over as he was like the youth team coach. Took over. He used to play for Blackpool. He's a good player actually. Dobby. He used to play for Swansea.
Good player.
Yeah, he is. And he did reasonably well, actually, to be honest. And he almost saved us. Burnley really ruined us because we beat QPR 6-0, I think, or 6-1. And then they played Burnley, and Burnley were already promoted. They put a lot of kids out, and QPR beat them. And if Burnley had just put out a decent side against them, we'd have stayed up because QPR would have gone down. So we're down here, back.
Yeah, back in League One again.
Back in the USSR. We're back, with you back in League One. So we're not happy about that, obviously, because we just didn't seem to try hard enough to stay in the Championship. And it's such a good league, It's actually my favourite league, the Championship. I would say, it is my favourite league for many reasons. I think, the teams you play are good. The standard of football's good. You're playing teams that have like recently come down from the Premier League. And if you do go into the Premier League, if you ever get the chance to go into the Premier League,
hopefully,
it's not a great deal of fun.
No,
being a little side in the Premier League.
VAR now and all that.
Well, VAR obviously is ridiculous. Should we have a show just on VAR? We can talk about VAR. It's a stupid system. So you've got that, but you've also got the fact that they don't really want you in their club.
Yeah.
They like the Uniteds and the Liverpools, and they're the fact that they're the global brand and it's the biggest teams in the land. So, if Sunderland get in, they'll be over the moon because they're one of the boys with a 40,000 stadium. That's the kind of thing. And you don't get many decisions going your way in the Premier League. And what they also do is they rearrange your matches all the time to fix, to fit whatever. So you get all your fixtures, they come out and you're playing Man City on a Saturday, and then when it actually comes to it, you're not playing Man City on a Saturday anymore. You're playing them on a Sunday lunchtime at 12, and you've made arrangements and to do something else, and it's just a nightmare. And there's not as many games, there's not as many games, so there's loads of weeks where you're not playing. There's, because you've only played 19 teams, 38 games. So there's lots of weekends you're off. You're playing at stupid lunchtime times. I like kickoffs at 3:00. I don't know if you like Saturday afternoon, 3:00. It's favorite time. I don't.
Premier League is just it's all a bit of a shambles, isn't it? Really, but it's all about League One. I mean,
you can't compete unless somebody that owns a country comes and buys Bristol Rovers, and you can spend $1 billion every year without even thinking, you've no chance money wise, it's
it's money, money, and that is just
money,
crazy.
money. Yeah,
but
it's great to do it once and go to Arsenal and Liverpool and United and City and go to all these grounds. It's just a great, it's an experience. It's an experience, but you don't have a lot of chance with it if you get in there.
Yeah, I mean, getting onto your last 5, obviously results. You did play on Tuesday in your rearranged FA Cup game, beat Forest Green Rovers 3-0.
We did.
It's been a bit of a interesting one for you in the if you look at the last 5, you lost your last game to Cambridge. They had 10 men. You beat Carlisle 3-0 at home. You lost to Northampton 2-1 at home after beating Shrewsbury and Pompey back to back. I mean, do them 5 results there sum up your season? Just 1 week, 1 week quality, the next week awful.
Yeah, when we're good and we're on it, we're like very, very good. We're superb. You come away thinking we're just going to romp the league. We're just amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the next week, we're like the dog and duck team. We can't string 2 passes together. Everything's backwards, slow. Oh, it's just, and the crowd are getting on everybody's back. Chris likes to play, keep hold of the ball. You know what I mean? Keep the ball, but a lot of it's backwards, sideways. a lot of the times we don't go at, you know, we'll get so far and then you come up against a defender and it goes back to somebody and then we come up against you again and we try this and we go back and we go around and then eventually we end up going all the way back to the keeper. Then we just launch a long ball, you know, we just launch one then, it just goes to nobody and you pick it up and it's so frustrating. Yet other times we come out like, you know, they've had a rocket up their arse from, you know, from Critch and they just come out flying and we play really well. So it could be either one of those. We're very Jekyll and Hyde, you know. We are. But I was speaking to you before, and you said you're a bit the same. You're a bit inconsistent. So we are consistently inconsistent.
Yeah. I mean, so far, you know, our results: 1-7, drew 7, lost 6. You've won 9, drew 6, lost 7. So it's pretty much the same. Obviously, you've played the 2 extra games. You've won 2 more games than us, and it's weird because you've actually lost more games, 1 more game than us, but obviously you've won 2 more than us. So yeah, 5 points separate us. Like I said, if we win, we could go 2 points behind you. Hopefully we can, you know,
with 2 games in hand. Have you got 2 games in hand?
Yeah, 2 games in hand. Yeah.
So theoretically you could go. Yeah. So it's a 6 pointer, isn't it?
It is a big game, especially with, you know, our fixture runs pretty mad. We've got you, then Pompey, then Charlton, then Wickham, then Barnsley, then Oxford, then you again. So, and with Norwich away in the 3rd round of the cup as well. In that, it's pretty mad time. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Neil, what's your thoughts on Blackpool? And if anyone's got any questions for Lee about different players, I mean, the way they play, etc., then get them in the comments and keep liking as well. But yeah, Neil, what's your thoughts on Blackpool? Have you got any questions for Lee about anything?
Hi, Neil.
Hi, mate. I think Blackpool are, by their own standards, would say, are underachieving in this league at the minute. As far as where they'd like to be, they'd probably like to be sat at the top end of that top 6, really, throughout the season to have a level. I think the Medine and Yates things hit him really hard as far as that output of goals. I don't know what that is a figure, goals per game, but they're both pretty much close to 20 goal centre forwards, aren't they, at League One level? Yeah. The Rhodes, the bit of recruitment at Rhodes has been really good. Yeah, because there was a spell with Jordan Rhodes that he looked like he was finished at one point, but Richie looks like he's getting a tune out of him. I don't know if he's fit. Is he fit for Saturday, Rhodes?
We think so.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that because I seen something on Twitter earlier on from, I don't know if it was Blackpool Live or Bristol Live, saying that apparently he took quite a nasty knock the other night when he come on. So
yeah, it looked really serious. In my match vlog, obviously, I just film a bit where they, where they're running on, medics are running on, like really panicking, and they were like shouting, oh, you know, somebody got him on the floor, and, you know, when they're like shouting over like that, you're thinking, oh my God, you know, the hell, you know, as he'd swallowed his tongue, you know what I mean? It's one of them, it looked really, really serious, and he was like flattened out. I think he got kicked straight in the face or something. I can't actually remember what happened, but it was the guy got a yellow, but
pretty bad.
We were all shouting for red card, but I didn't actually see exactly what happened. But I just saw Jordan Rhodes like just flat out dead, basically. And I was a bit worried. I'd said on the thing, this doesn't look really good. This looks a bit scary. Hope he's all right, sort of thing. Didn't want to film, obviously, if there's anything serious. So, but then he eventually sat up and got up, and then they took him over to the side, and we got a free kick from that, and that was our 3rd goal from. We actually scored from a free kick, which is a miracle. It is, and we never scored from free. But anyway, we scored from this free kick, and he came on, and he was more rubbing his shoulder. He was doing all this with his shoulder and all this. So I don't quite know exactly what it was that happened, but he did continue the game and he did play it out. You know, he didn't take him off, didn't sub him or anything. So, but he was only on for about 15 minutes. But I wish he'd never come on, actually. But so I don't know. We've not really heard.
I was pretty surprised because I was at football 5-a-side Tuesday. I got back and I looked at, I knew you were playing, and I looked. I was like, why is he, 2-0 up or whatever? Why is he bringing on Rhodes? Like, why wouldn't you just? Because he's obviously by far your best player.
We didn't need him. We didn't really need him to come on, and for him to get injured with 2 minutes of coming on, it was a bad decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think he's on 14 goals, 1 goal behind Alfie May. Like like Neil said, you'd think that at a time, at Huddersfield, it was sort of going down. He was playing less and less. The goals were, but this season he's coming on loan and he's absolutely smashed it. And, you know, he has done it before in League One, but obviously like, what, 12, 13 years ago?
I would
he's
say
still
at the moment, like watching him, he is one of the best strikers we've ever had at Bloomfield Road. You know, and that, I'm not saying that likely. He is like lethal. Like I've never seen a finisher quite like him. He is really something special, and he's really quick in the box, and he has that dark art of kind of knowing where to be.
Yeah.
You know, to be free to get the ball and score, but he doesn't do a lot. Is that? Yeah. I'm surprised he got injured, because I always think he doesn't. You know, he's not a get. You know, Jerry Yates was like, 110%. He was up, down. You know, he ran 1,000 miles. Jordan Rose just stays in a little section of the pitch all the time, and he's just. But he's kind of very astute as to where he's going to be, and if he gets a chance,
he'll score. Basically,
he's so kind of quick thinking. You know, I watched an interview with him, and he said, you know, that his goal scoring doesn't come naturally. He just practices a lot, like a real lot, and he kind of has so many different shots in his locker that he can just turn. You know, if he just needs to dink it over the keeper, or put one in the far side, or or just whatever it is, or slam it, or it's all done in a microsecond, because he drills it, and he's never stopped doing that. Even when he says even when they weren't picking him, he never stops training to be like lethal, and he is lethal. There's no doubt about him. He is a great striker, but there's a massive difference between League One and the Championship. And it's kind of rumoured at the moment that Huddersfield want him back, obviously, because they're struggling and they're seeing how many goals he's getting with us, and they think he's going to go back and save him. But I don't know if he's now quick enough for the Championship. You know, it's a lot faster.
It's completely different, isn't it? The Championship, there's a huge step.
I mean, CJ Hamilton, you know, you probably heard of CJ Hamilton. But every game, he tends to just test the defender, and he'll shove a ball past him, and 9 times out of 10 he'll give him a yard and beat him dead easy. Couldn't do that in Championship, no chance. He couldn't. Defenders in the Championship, he couldn't shove it around him and give him a yard and get past him. But in League One, it's just they're just, you know, they're not as good. And I imagine if you went in the Premier League, the players are faster still. So it's easier, which is why we're kind of frustrated, because we've been going to, Sheffield United, Norwich away, we beat Norwich away. Burnley last season, they didn't get a point out of us. It was the teams you're playing in the Championship are so much bigger, than League One.
It's a big step in it.
And we're playing League One like we're terrified. We go away looking like a team that's scared to death.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, how can you have been playing like Sheffield United and Sunderland?
It's quite a big difference. You say then you're and even looking at you look at your home form, you've won 7. So it's such a big difference from you at home to you away. Because if you look at away, you've only won 2. You've only won 2 games away, but at home you've won 7. So there's quite a big difference, which obviously isn't good for us if you're amazing, really good away. But it's going to be a good game. I think 2 teams, Blackpool are going to want to bounce back from.
Well, you've just had a great result, haven't you, against Bolton? So
exactly, we
couldn't beat Bolton. Bloody game, Bolton the win. We cocked up and gave them, passing around the back and got dispossessed, and they scored a wonder goal from it. And I thought we were going to beat Bolton, but it's still a good, it's a great result for you. And we were, really upset that we didn't come out with at least a draw from Bolton, because we played so well that day. But it's just, you just, when you play, you're going to Exeter City, and you've like the game before was Norwich City away, the previous game in the Championship was the last game at Norwich. And I'm going to Exeter City. I'm not going as a fan thinking, oh my God, Exeter, I've just played that Norwich City. Who had players that like they paid millions for, and you got Exeter City who are like a fan-owned club, aren't they? And your expectations as a fan, you're thinking, well, if we're at Norwich, we beat Norwich. So the last time I went to watch him in the last game of the season, now I'm off to Exeter. You kind of think you'd be good enough to beat them, but we weren't. We weren't. And
it happens with a lot. I mean, you look at Sunderland. Sunderland, how long Ipswich were in League One. It's the sort of the same thing, because you're going from there, and you come back down. Expectations are
Literally
really
all
high,
easy, and it's not easy.
But
it's not easy.
So they should be though. Expectations should be high,
Yeah, of course.
even for me as not a huge club or a club that's been in the Premier League or whatever.
Yeah.
Even for me, like, fans do have, and especially if you're a club that's come down, you're gonna have high expectations, aren't you? But I think
when we were in the Premier League and you're playing Manchester United, Aston Villa, Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham, every week, and then you go down into Championship and you're playing Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United. They don't seem, when you've been playing Tottenham and Man City and United, and you're playing it for like 80,000 all this, and then you go to Sheffield United, they don't seem scary. They seem easy, but when you go up from, if you get promoted this season and you're in the Championship, you're going to be thinking, oh, bloody hell, 30,000 Sheffield United, Jesus, Middlesbrough 30. It's like a different mentality. You're thinking, oh my God, Sheffield United. And it's different when you've been playing. So it's just the same. You've come down from playing them and you're playing, bloody Bristol Rovers, for God's sake. You're thinking it's dead easy, aren't you? But when it actually comes,
it's the same as last week. Same as last week for us, though. We had a Bolton fan on. He's like 5-0. Straight away, didn't even have to think.
Okay, breeze past Bristol Rovers. Yeah, but it's not that easy. And we were down here. Blackpool got relegated in the 70s, and it took them till 2006. It took them 30 years to get back into the Championship. 30 years. They went down from League One, the third division, then into the fourth, and they actually got relegated from the fourth, and they had to apply for re-election in the days when you could apply for re-election, and we got back in. But most of my football journey with my dad, because I used to go with my dad all the time. He sadly, he died after the Premier League season, so we did it. But the years from 2000 to 2010 were just unbelievable. Those years, we went to 2 LDV finals. We got a promotion from finally out of League One into the Championship, and then we got promoted to Premier League, and that all happened in those 10 years. But apart from those 10 years, it's been like it is now. And for me, I've watched Blackpool for so many years, and we have done that before. Beat top of the league, then you go into like Chesterfield or Walsall when they were at their old ground back then. Just like you just think we're gonna, Blackpool will win, and we just never did. We've lost to every team you can ever think of. Don't matter who they are, and I've suffered like this, really. That's been my main football journey. I just had those 10 wonderful years, and then of course the Oysters ruined it all, and then we had the fan boycotts. We didn't even go for 5 years. It was terrible. My youngest, when they started the boycott, was 8, and we have a mascot at Bloomfield Road called Bloomfield Bear. And when he was 8, he'd be asking me, he'd be saying, how does he tie his shoelaces, and where does he eat, and what, he was asking me all that. When I took him back to a game, he was like nearly 14, and he's telling me, he's been at academies and all sorts of stuff, and he's telling me all the players and what they should be doing. I'm thinking, bloody hell, he's not asking about Bloomfield Bear anymore. It was only like the last match I had with him was, 5 years before, and you miss so much with your boys, and it was just a terrible disaster. It was so good that this Simon Sadler came in and he got us in the, back into the Championship within a couple of years, and it just feels like we're just back to square one. It's hard to take at the moment.
Football's just crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy, and it's hard. It's even harder as a football vlogger. Well, as you guys will know, as a fan, just as a fan of a football team, it's bad enough, isn't it, losing on a Saturday? But when you've got to make a bloody vlog about it and then do a video till 4 o'clock in the morning to get it out, and you've lost, it's just like, you don't want to do it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
No, I just don't want to do it half the time. I'm just so negged out along with it. Are you coming, by the way, up to Blackpool?
Yeah. Both of us will be up there. Yeah.
Well, we'll get an interview with you then.
Yeah.
Jane and I, Jane will be selling she does the fanzine for Blackpool, by the way. She sells. So when you're coming at Bloomfield Road, you go in as you get to the ground on your right, you go in that entrance there, the first entrance. So she's always stood. There's an old, it used to be the #1 club, but now it's the Arcade Club on Bluefield Road. It's like retro gaming thing. So she stands out there. She'll be doing the fanzines on Saturday, so I'll be with her there. So you can find me on Bluefield Road, and I'll get you guys on and have a chat with you.
Yeah, great. That'd be great. But yeah, gonna jump into our lineup predictions and score predictions in a sec. But just before we get into it, Neil, what's your thoughts going to Bloomfield Road to face Blackpool? Do you think just hoping we can see this sort of same performance we've seen against Bolton, and hopefully, just keep backing up performances?
Yeah, I don't think it's hope anymore. I think you've got evidence of it now. We've put down a marker, Saturday, to show that we are capable of putting in that performance on the road against big sides. Because before that, it was inevitable. We go to bigger sides than us, and we just not do enough. I mean, I remember the opening day, we looked great against Pompey, but we just couldn't get it over the line, and we ended up taking a point, didn't we? So we've shown evidence now that we can go to these places, we can go and implement what we want to do. I know he's only been in the building a couple of weeks, Taylor, but he's clearly getting his point across of what he wants out of the players he's got. I mean, I never give us a prayer at Bolton. So that would have been hope to win that. But I firmly believe we can go to somewhere like Blackpool now, who will really, Taylor will be looking at that table at the minute, and he'll be looking at that, Taylor, and he'll be going, these are the sides we want to be catching up. We want to be making ground on sides like Blackpool. So we've got to go in there and put a shift in and try and get something out of that game.
There's a comment. Sorry, there's a comment you put up there.
I think we could definitely go and get a result there.
Yeah,
you can,
crossed.
And you have, and there's a comment on there as well, and I'll talk about that as well because
because I wasn't even born. I don't think I was.
I was there. Well, I was there on that game, and Bristol Rovers got promoted at Bluefield Road. Last game of the season, you brought thousands. And,
there was loads. Absolutely,
there was absolutely thousands. And at the end of the game, you ran on the pitch. Thousands of you ran on the pitch. And you all ran down to the south stand end, right to all the nutters of Blackpool in that south stand at that time, because we only had half a ground then. Well, we had three sides. Well, we might have we had half the cop and the three sides. But anyway, they come down to our loudest fans, and honestly, I thought this is going to kick off. It's really going to kick off bad, and they came over and they all started applauding us, and then we started applauding them, and it was quite a magical moment. And ever since then, Blackpool have really been very fond of Bristol Rovers. That's where we are. That was the moment where the two clubs actually. We've always liked Bristol Rovers since that moment. It was kind of a special moment, and we've never forgot. Anybody that was there will never forget that day, because it really did look like it was going to be like big trouble, but it wasn't. No, you were fantastic. You came over, you applauded us, got a massive applaud off us. The police didn't have to get involved, and it was just a kind of a magical moment, and it kind of made a bond between Blackpool and Bristol Rovers, and that's why we like you, by the way. I don't want to beat you, obviously, but you know what I mean. We're very fond of Bristol Rovers. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, comment here from Vanarama 98. Yeah, Jake Beasley, I remember. Yeah, he was at Rochdale. Yeah, he did score. I think it was I think we beat Rochdale 4-2 that day. I think Beasley. Yeah, because because you play like a 3-5-2, don't you? With like two strikers, the wing, and it's weird with you as well, because you play like wingers at wing. Well, same as us, really. Harvey Vale is a winger /10. He plays on the left. Thomas, who's a right winger, I don't think he's ever played right wing back in his life, and he played right wing back as well. So yeah, you're like 3-5-2, ain't you, Blackpool?
Yeah, we are. We play with three sort of like holding defenders, three centre halves, maybe I could say three centre halves, and then we have two attacking wingers. Yeah, with generally with CJ Hamilton on one side and Owen Dale on the other side has been the kind of preferred way we play. We normally have a back three of it's Pennington, Ekpiteta and Husband normally as a back three. Ekpiteta did get dropped a while ago, and it was Casey, Pennington, Husband. But that's the way we normally set up with those it's kind of five in the midfield, but it's more, they go attacking wing back. So
yeah.
So it's generally just 3 across the back, really. We're attacking.
Yeah, pretty much 3. And then what was it? You've got is it Ollie Norburn in it? You've got one of our ex loanies.
Yeah.
Has he been playing for you in the centre of the 3?
He's an odd one, Ollie Norburn. We got him from Peterborough, and he came in like a blaze of glory, and everyone was like really excited about him. And he's not really. I won't say he's one of my favourites. He's okay. He's a bit backwards, pass back.
Yeah. He's like he just sits right back, doesn't he? He'll like dictate the play, and he'll just sometimes he'll do like a worldy ball. Sometimes he'll just keep it simple and just keep it. He's one of them players that don't really, he's one of those players that doesn't excite you, but he just does the job of what in midfield and just goes a bit.
Yeah, which is kind of not what we need, really. We kind of need the complete opposite to him. We've already got him. We've already got players that can do that. It's the kind of that midfielder that drives it forward. The one that like we had Charlie Adam, and he just runs at you all the time. He's constantly attacking you. We needed somebody like that, really. So he's a bit like in a group of midfielders that all kind of do the same job. He unfortunately, when we played Bolton, it was a terrible foul, really. I don't know why nothing happened with it, but they cracked his rib. He got a cracked rib against Bolton, really bad. He played on for till the end. But from that moment, it kind of knocked us out of our stride at Bolton. We didn't come back out for the second half, obviously, but but it was a cracked rib. So he's only just come back, and he's not really firing on all cylinders yet. We didn't play very well at Cambridge United, and he was in. Kenny Dougal's been dropped for the last couple of games, and he was a bit on and off in the Championship week, but he's kind of really got in his stride recently. He's been playing, the best I've seen Kenny Dougal play, to be honest. I think it's, he really is, and now it's rumoured he's wanting to go in January, so he's not played for the last 2 games, so I'm not quite sure if that rumour is true. So whether we'll have Dougal in, I don't know. It's normally Sonny Carey, Dougal, and one other. Could be anybody. Could be Carey. Dembele sometimes plays in there.
Yeah, because you got that. Got that player that come through Celtic that was meant to be he was getting Messi. Touted as like the next literally Messi, and he went to. I think you've got him on loan from that French side, Brest, haven't you?
Yeah,
from Brest on loan. So, I've seen a few bits of him this season. When I've seen him, he's done quite well, but he's very obviously lightweight, and he's very small, good on the ball, but he's definitely one to watch out for. Yeah,
they talk about him in the same sort of, mentioning Messi at the same time, but I think it's. I remember when he first come on the scene. It's because Messi's small, isn't he? And he has incredible balance. Messi, he's not a player that you ever really see go down. He's well balanced, isn't he? I don't know, his legs and just the way his stature is. He's really hard to knock off the ball. Whereas Dembele is small like Messi, and he's supposed to have the same center of gravity, but he doesn't seem to be able to stay on his feet for 5 seconds for me. He's just any little nudge and but I'm not sure. He's like a little lad. You know what I mean? What is he, like 5'5"? He's really small. Honestly, he's really so small, tiny. I just think they just barge him off half the time. You know what I mean? He's just not strong enough. But he is really talented. He is like, if he could stay on his feet all the time, and had that ability, that ability that Messi had and was a bit stronger. I think he'll be a great player because he is a box of tricks, and you never know whether what he's going to do next. Even we don't, don't know if he's going to go left, right, twist, turn. He is. He's got us a couple of penalties this year, and he got a man sent off because they really fouled him bad, But there's one game where he was getting fouled all the time, and the referee just let him keep fouling him. It was really weird, but sometimes I think he goes down a bit too easy, for me. But he never seems to get anything when he does go down easy, so I don't see the point. He's not one of these that gets fouls really, unless it's like the clear and obvious. They don't, I think the refs just see it. He's just too little lad, just gets pushed over, which is there's nothing wrong with just pushing. There's nothing wrong with using your strength, is there, against somebody? As long as it's not dirty. If you're if you're like a brick wall and he hits you and bounces off you and goes down, it's not it's not a foul, is it? Not in my bucket, is it? Anyway, you know, it's only a foul if you bend him, but if he just bounces off you, well, it's just fact he's just not big enough to cope with you. So yeah, you know, fair shoulder barge or whatever is always, you know, it's fair in it. But he's just not. He's just a little bit lightweight, but he is dangerous.
But yeah, that's pretty much Blackpool starting 11. What would your starting 11 be, Neil? Would you change anything? Would you, if Hunt was back fit, would you start him, or would you go with exactly the same team that played against Bolton if there isn't any injury concerns? And let us know in the comments as well.
No, I think even if he is back fit, Hunt, I think with Pompey coming along Tuesday, I think you just want to keep him as fresh as you can to go into Tuesday. To be honest, them lads would be full of confidence going on what the body of work they did on Saturday. They'd be more than happy to line up exactly the same, go into a full week of training of the understanding of that pattern of play, all playing in the same positions as they were previously, and undertaking certain instructions to go and do. There'll be different tweaks because Blackpool aren't, you know, Bolton, and they'll play a different way, and there'll be certain situations that need to be catered to. But as far as anyone coming in, I'd rather just, if it'd be different if we didn't have Pompey on Tuesday, but I think with Pompey on Tuesday, that's another big output that we're going to have against the top side. So I think you get all them lads back in this week, say we're going to go again Saturday, same format, same bodies on the pitch, a couple of different instructions, and let them go again.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, unchanged team. Coxey in goal, Wilson, Taylor, Cramer, centre mid of Finley, Ward, Evans and Collins in behind Marquis, and Thomas on the right, and Harvey Vell on the left. But yeah, getting on to score predictions, going to do the score predictions, and then we're going to end it. It's gone over a little bit what we usually do. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed it anyway. Keep hitting the like button if you haven't already. If you're watching back on the replay, get your score prediction down as well. We've already got a few. Gaspap saying 2-0 Blackpool. What's that? 2-0 Blackpool, 2-0 Rovers, or 2-2 draw. Come on, you've only got to pick just
on
pick
the
one
fence, yeah.
if you can. Yeah, on the fence, yeah. But yeah, Ryan Dunbar as well saying could be easily 3-0 Blackpool or 3-0 Rovers. Yeah, Neil, what's your score prediction and your goal scorers?
I think this could get daft on Saturday, to be honest, because you've got a side in Blackpool who are not shy of scoring goals themselves. They're indifferent, they're inconsistent, you know, as Lee's mentioned. We're coming off the back of a good result at Bolton, and much like we have done all season, we create out full of chances. Off the confidence they'll get from Saturday and the way we played, 3-2 Rovers.
3-2, bloody hell. Yeah, that'd be a mad game, wouldn't it? Just before Christmas. Yeah, 3-2. Goal scorers for both teams?
I'd say Rhodes and maybe Ekteta for Blackpool. Collins 2 and maybe Martin late on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Lee, what's your score prediction? You confident you can get back to winning ways, or it just all depends?
Yes, the fantastic Blackpool's going to be entertaining us on Saturday. I've got to believe. I have to believe. I can't go to games thinking I'm going to lose. It's just not the way I am. I always go thinking I'm going to win. I don't always win. But I think if we play as good as we can, I think we'll win. And I'm going to go for 2-0 to Blackpool. If Jordan Rhodes, if he's playing, I'm just going to answer that question as well while I'm here. Jordan Rhodes to get one. Oh God, CJ Hamilton to get the other would be my prediction. Somebody's just put their question. Here's a question for Lee. Ollie, would you have him back? I imagine that's what WYHHB. Let's talk about Ollie. Yeah, Ian Holloway.
Holloway, yeah.
I loved Ian Holloway. I absolutely idolised him. He was the best manager we've ever had. You know what I mean? He was just unbelievable for Blackpool. He fit Blackpool like a glove as well. He was bonkers, daft, you know, just like we are. And I think every Blackpool fan would have had him back. But unfortunately, he stuck up for Carl Oyston and said things about, you know, our boycott and stuff, and was sided with the Oystons, and it just upset a lot of people at the time because it was a very serious boycott, you know what I mean? And he just, maybe he had to come out with it just, you know, because you have to, and he can't start slagging off, you know, Carl Oyston. But the fact that he did has burned his bridges with so many people that it would be one of those appointments again where we're not happy with it, you know what I mean? And we've had you've had
quite a lot of
Simon Grayson back, who didn't work out. We've had Michael Appleton back, and now we've got Critch back, you know, and I don't think the fans would take kindly to another manager that it's mixed, you know. Even Critch is mixed because he left, you know. A lot of people call him Snake
he left when he had
he left
the opportunity to jump.
People say he didn't say goodbye and all that, but I kind of understood why he left, you know, because the money going to Aston Villa as a number 2, which again seemed weird because he was a manager and it seemed daft to go as a number 2, but he went as a number 2, and so I would have him back actually because I loved him, you know what I mean. I just think we had the greatest football that I ever saw under Holloway. It was all attack. It was all just attack. So yeah, but I'm going for 2-0. But it'll probably, but as Ryan says, it could easily be 2-0 to you. But I'm gonna nail my colours to the mast. I'm not gonna sit on the fence.
Yeah,
but
Neil's gone 3-2. Lee's gone 2-0. Gordo saying I fancy a 2-0 Rovers if we play like we did. That's the thing. Hopefully we can back it up. Thomas and Martin on Marcus of the goals. Up the gas, RJ says 1-1 draw. We create more chances but don't take enough chances. Rovers score first, then a late goal from Blackpool. Yeah, I mean for me, I mean it's funny, isn't it? The last 2 games, I wasn't confident. I didn't think we would beat Crewe, and I didn't think we would beat we'd beat Bolton, and we won both. And then the games before that I predicted, but now I've seen, you know, how we've done the last few games. Confidence is high. 2 wins in a row. Taylor's first league win. I'm gonna go with my usual 2-1. I'd love to keep a clean sheet. What we got 3 or 4 in the league this season. You know, we never keep clean sheets. It would be lovely if we could it'd be lovely if we could just sneak a little 1-0, a 1-0 late winner from someone. But yeah, I'll go 2-1. I'll go 2-1. I think if Rhodes is playing, I think he'll score. If Rhodes isn't playing, I'll go for Beasley. And for Rovers, I think Marcus will get another one. And I think Collins too. So yeah, 2-1 for Rovers for me, 2-0 Blackpool for Lee, and 3-2 for Neil. But yeah, if you haven't already, obviously Crow has gone 1-0. I think that I don't know if you're a Rovers fan or a Blackpool fan. I don't know if it's that 1-0 to Blackpool or Rovers, but a draw would be decent. Yeah, a draw would be decent. But yeah, hopefully a win, because that's what we need. Another, you know, Blackpool aren't in the top 6, but they're one of the top 6 sides, if you will. You know, they're a team that you know should be in there. Will they be in there at the start of the season? At the end of the season? Who knows? Belly should start against Black. I mean, Belly's not even at Rovers. He's at Harrogate now. So yeah, you missed the news on Belly leaving. Belly's come back from Forest Green and has gone back to Harrogate. So yeah. But yeah, we're pretty much going to end it now. I know we've gone over a bit longer, but hope you've enjoyed it anyway. We're going to be back on Christmas Eve. We'll let you know a time if you just follow our socials. Talking Gas Podcast on Instagram, Talking Gas Pod on Twitter. So yeah, just keep notifications on. We'll both be at the game. I'll be doing a video after the game. So hopefully it's another positive win, hopefully. But yeah, thanks to Lee for coming on. Subscribe to his channel. He'll be there at the game Saturday. I'll try and, you know, meet you up there as well and get like a little interview going. And yeah, appreciate the continued support. Leave a like, subscribe, leave your score predictions in the comments if you haven't already. And yeah, see you on the match reaction Saturday. Up the gas.
Right. Thanks for having me on, Charlie. It's always nice to catch up. So may the best team win.